Alright, so we're going to talk about set builder notation and not so much set builder notation, I guess, but maybe in general talking about how to write a solution to an inequality in kind of a compact form. One way to do it would be set builder notation, but we're really not going to talk about set builder notation just because that's pretty complicated, and to be honest with you, it's really mathy. It's something that we probably don't need to do. We're going to talk about, in general, if we're given an inequality, writing our inequality solution in interval notation and kind of going through the number line graph. So in general, all these things can be equivalent. We can kind of talk about our solution of an inequality in terms of any of these possibilities. In terms of an inequality, well, the inequality kind of talks about what the inequality is, what the solution to that inequality is. We can also say that, well, an inequality can be written as a number line graph. So we're always going to usually start over here with an inequality. We could say our inequality could be put onto a number line, and we'll go through some examples real soon to kind of give you the idea about what to do. So we're going to start with an inequality, try and put it on a number line, and from the number line we'll be able to go into interval notation. That interval notation is going to be our solution for that inequality, and we'll be able to kind of go from here over here to the number line graph, finalize with our interval notation. We could talk about set builder notation, but that's really kind of mathy. So let's go to an example and say, you know what, if I've got an inequality like a is less than x is less than b, then I'm going to say, here's my inequality. I'm going to try and jump down here and say my inequality could say that, well, my x is all these solutions here. X is greater than a and less than b, or in other words, a is less than x and x is less than b. So this is kind of our inequality converted into a number line graph. And we put these parentheses here, these soft parentheses, these rounded parentheses here, to say that we won't include a in our solution, and we won't include b, will not include b, because x has to be less than b. Couldn't be, in another inequality, it could be x is less than or equal to b, and we'd put a different bracket here. But right now, x is less than b, and b is not part of our solution because x has to be less than b, so we put a rounded bracket. Same thing with a over here. A is less than x, or x is greater than a, so we put a rounded bracket here, and therefore a is not part of our solution, or a is not our solution, not part of our solution, so therefore there's a rounded bracket here. From the number line, we can just go up here and say, what's our interval notation? Well, let's see. We've got to say, well, you know what? I'm going to go from here down to here and show you that that's our interval notation here. Let's see. In our interval notation, we have to know what our border is over here for our solution. Our border is a. On the interval as well, in interval notation, we have to know our border over here. Our border over here for our solution is b. And then we say, well, do we include a in our solution? A is not part of our solution, and there's a rounded bracket here because of it, so therefore there's a rounded bracket here in our interval notation. Over here, do we include b in our solution? B is not part of our solution, so therefore from our interval, or sorry, from our inequality, x has got to be less than b, so b is not included, so we put a rounded bracket here. Therefore, in our interval notation, we put a rounded bracket there as well. And now we put a comma between them, and there's our interval notation. The solution to this inequality is rounded bracket a, comma b, rounded bracket. That means all numbers between a and b, not including a, not including b. And that's our solution. And we could also say here's our set builder notation, but I think that's kind of busy. So I'm just going to show you that's how some people might want to write it, but I think it's probably kind of busy, so there's my solution for that one. So what we do is we start with an inequality. Write a number line, say what my border is, what my border is. Does the solution include A or B, or our borders? If it does not include, put a rounded bracket. If it does not include, put a rounded bracket. And then from our number line, we can put our border. Does our solution include A? Rounded bracket. If not, does our solution solution include B? No. Therefore, rounded bracket. Put a comma between them, and there's our interval notation that we're going to try and remember how to use.